So what do I think are the greatest double acting Oscar wins of all time? Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the Awards Contender. This is going to be a fun one today. We are talking some heavy hitters today, the best examples of actors who have won 2 Academy Awards. It was kind of tricky, to be honest, to narrow this down to 10. I started with the good 20 to 22. And then getting it to 10, it was hard. A few weeks ago, I made a top 10 list counting down the finest 2-time acting Oscar nominations. Now it's time to discuss the 2-time winners. Let's begin with number 10, Diane Wuest.
Gee, this isn't like I imagined what it would be in the bathtub.
I had to include the one, the only, the great Diane Wuest, who has won an Oscar twice. Both in Best Supporting Actress, both for a Woody Allen film. The first, Hannah and Her Sisters, 1986. The second, Bullets Over Broadway, 1994. These are 2 sublime comic performances, especially Bullets Over Broadway. That is one of the most inspired acting Oscar wins of the 90s, I'd say. She is a delight in that film. So funny, so quirky, such a scene stealer. She's also fantastic in Hannah and Her Sisters. More of a dramatic performance in that, but also very humorous at times and very real. Like, she's very, very good in Hannah and Her Sisters, and that she got nominated for both of those performances. That she won on both occasions in less than a decade? That's really cool, I think. For the Academy to give Diane Wuest 2 Academy Award wins in Best Supporting Actress, it's one of the greatest things they've ever done.
This is as surprising and marvelous as it was the first time. Although this time I need glasses.
Number 9, Tom Hanks.
I know that my work in this case is magnified by the fact that the streets of heaven are too crowded with angels.
So I know some people don't love his Best Actor Oscar win for Forrest Gump. I mean, we could argue that back and forth. I really like Forrest Gump. I've talked about that on the channel before. I like that it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor. I think it's deserved. I love that movie with my full heart. Anytime I see it on TV or something, I will watch it to the end. It has that effect on me, and I think Tom Hanks is so vitally important to the success of that movie. He completely transforms into that character. I really like that Best Actor win, and I love his first win for Philadelphia. As a dying gay man with AIDS, I hadn't seen that film since probably high school. I rewatched it about a year ago. That is a fantastic film by Jonathan Demme. Hanks works really well with Denzel Washington in that movie. And what's really cool about Tom Hanks' Oscar history, of course, is that he won Best Actor Oscar trophies back-to-back. One for 1993, the next for 1994. It's very rare. It's only happened in Best Actor one other time, Spencer Tracy in the 1930s. And I will always be on record saying I love both of these Best Actor wins for Tom Hanks.
The power and the pleasure and the emotion of this moment is a constant, the speed of light. It will never be diminished.
Number 8, Denzel Washington.
I'd also like to pay homage to the 54th, the black soldiers who helped to make this country free.
So speaking of Washington, he's another great actor who's won twice to date. He won for 1989's Glory in Best Supporting Actor and for 2001's Training Day in Best Actor. To be honest, I've had mixed feelings throughout the years when it comes to his win for Training Day. That was a weird season in that Russell Crowe was winning pretty much everything all season long for A Beautiful Mind, but because he had just won the Best Actor trophy the year before for Gladiator, it was going to be hard for Crowe to pull a Tom Hanks, so the Academy that year, 2001, went with Washington in Training Day. At the time, I was like, well, should that be the Best Actor win for Washington and his entire career? It's for Training Day. I wasn't sure, but as of late, I have come to really appreciate that victory. It's cool that he won in Best Actor for kind of a villainous performance. He's really strong in that film. He elevates the material through his performance. He's excellent in Training Day. So that's a solid win. And then, of course, he is amazing in Glory. That was an Oscar win. That was always going to happen. He is just so undeniably phenomenal in Glory. That's a fantastic Oscar win for supporting actor. So yeah, even though in some ways I feel like Denzel Washington should have 3 by now, he came close to winning for Fences. It didn't happen. He should have 3 in his long career, but because he only has the 2, he gets to be in this video.
40 years I've been chasing Sydney. They finally give it to me. What do? They give it to him the same night.
Number 7, Adrien Brody.
It doesn't come out as slow motion, but it doesn't really ring a bell. The name, I didn't know my name when you said that. I was like, this Adrien?
So I wanted to include someone in this video who just won their 2nd Oscar for acting very recently. It was between Adrien Brody and Emma Stone. I thought very hard about including Emma Stone here. I would have her in like number 11 or number 12. I love that Oscar win for Poor Things. She is dynamite in that movie. I'm a little indifferent, to be honest, to her win for La La Land. I like that movie. She's very good in that. But I don't know. I was close on Emma Stone, but really when it comes to someone recently who's won their 2nd trophy, it's Adrien Brody. I know he just gave like the longest speech ever, and there's certain things like when it comes to Adrien Brody on the stage, you know, has not aged well, we don't really like. But when you just consider the performances in The Pianist 2002 and The Brutalist 2024, these are 2 extraordinary film performances. I think it's really cool. He got 2 Oscar nominations. He won for both. He won in Best Actor for both. So well deserved. The first win was a shocker, right? That was a huge surprise. He hadn't won anything that season up until the Oscars. On the other hand, he was very much the frontrunner to win the Oscar for The Brutalist. He only missed at SAG, where Timothée Chalamet won. Brody is so frickin' good in both movies that if I'm talking about the best double acting Oscar wins of all time, I feel like Brody has to be there. If I had made this video a year ago, obviously he wouldn't be. But right now, when I think about the best double wins ever, yeah, Adrien Brody makes the list.
If the past can teach us anything, it's a reminder to not let hate go unchecked.
Number 6, Gene Hackman.
A young lady who I met in New York many years ago, Miss Filippa Maltese, and she brought me uptown. Thank you.
The late, great Gene Hackman. Here's another actor who should have won 3, right? Like, it feels like Gene Hackman should have gotten 3 trophies in his long career. He got 5 Oscar nominations total. He won twice. The first time for The French Connection and Best Actor, 1971. The second time for Unforgiven and Best Supporting Actor, 1992. And these are 2 all-timer wins. I mean, if he was going to win twice, these were the 2 performances he deserved to win for. The French Connection by director William Friedkin is an extraordinary film of the 70s, and he is amazing in that film. He has such like energy and vivacity. He is absolutely electric in that movie. And then Unforgiven, he is the villain, and he is so darkly chilling in Clint Eastwood's masterpiece from 1992. Unforgiven is an amazing film in so many ways, but one of my favorite things about that Western is the Gene Hackman performance. So yeah, Gene Hackman probably should have won 3. He definitely should have been nominated once or twice more, but at least he won for these 2 magnificent film performances.
I'd like to dedicate my part of this evening to my uncle, Orrin Hackman. He was a wonderful guy, too. Thank you very much.
Number 5, Jodie Foster.
This is such a big deal, and my life is so simple. There are very few things. There's love and work and family.
So we've had some amazing women win Best Actress Oscars very close to each other, but my favorite, the one I had to include in this list, is the incredible Jodie Foster, who won her first Best Actress trophy for The Accused, 1988, and her second all-timer, right? Her all-timer win 3 years later, The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Now, some of you might say, well, The Accused, that's just a good win, not a great one. I agree it's not at the level of Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs, of course, but I do think her performance in The Accused is very strong. She more than holds her own in that movie, and scene to scene, you're watching Jodie Foster come into her own as an adult actress in that film. She's very good in that. She beat out some considerable competition, right? She beat out Glenn Close for Dangerous Liaisons, Sigourney Weaver, Gorillas in the Mist. Like, Foster could have easily lost the Oscar for The Accused, that the Academy saw just how good of work she's doing in that film and gave her the trophy. I think that was well deserved. And then, of course, her win 3 years later for The Silence of the Lambs. That's one of the finest acting Oscar victories ever. I mean, talk about perfect casting. The relationship between Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins in that movie is one of the strangest and most fascinating screen pairs in the history of cinema. She was up against the two Thelma and Louise actresses, Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. Either one of those women being victorious that night would have been a great victory too, but come on, it was always going to Jodie Foster for The Silence of the Lambs. I do think Jodie Foster's double wins at the Oscars and Best Actress are off the charts great.
I'd like to dedicate this award to all of the women who came before me who never had the chances that I've had, and the survivors and the pioneers and the outcasts.
Number 4, Anthony Hopkins.
My father died 11 years ago tonight, so maybe he had something to do with this as well, I don't know. But I want to say thank you to the Academy for your tremendous generosity.
So speaking of The Silence of the Lambs, we follow Jodie Foster with Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter, another one of the greatest acting Oscar wins of all time, 1991, Best Actor, not Best Supporting Actor. Even though Hopkins is in The Silence of the Lambs for just a few select scenes, he easily could have gone Supporting Actor. He went into lead, and he won. It is such a great victory for Hopkins, for the horror genre. I really love that both Hopkins and Foster won Oscars for their performances in that phenomenal Jonathan Demme film. And I was so thrilled when I remembered that Anthony Hopkins has 2 Oscars, his second win, of course, being for The Father 2020. That was a little bit unexpected. I was predicting it. I thought after his BAFTA win, that was going to happen. The Father was in Best Picture, and Anthony Hopkins breaks your hearts in that movie. His final scene, when he breaks down crying, it's one of the greatest moments from an actor of the last decade, I would say. And even though his win for Best Actor at the Oscars that year was very anticlimactic, he wasn't there, the show just ended, it takes nothing away from the greatness of this acting Oscar win. Anthony Hopkins, like pretty much everyone I'm talking about in this video, should have at least 2, if not 3. So I am happy he won his second trophy, also in Best Actor, for another monumental performance.
The Academy congratulates Anthony Hopkins and accepts the Oscar on his behalf. Thank you.
Number 3, Robert De Niro.
This is a very richly deserved award. I think Robert De Niro is an extraordinary actor, and he is going to enrich the films that are made for years to come.
Right? This was an obvious choice for my top 3 here. Robert De Niro has 2 Oscar wins, the first in Best Supporting Actor 1974, The Godfather Part 2, and the second in Best Actor 1980, Raging Bull. Wow. Right? Like, I mean, he's had such an important film career. He's a part of so many wonderful movies. He's done so much great work throughout the decades. And when it comes to the 2 wins for De Niro, holy shit, did the Academy get that right. Like, if he was going to win 2, these are the 2 iconic Robert De Niro performances that deserved Oscar victories. He is so powerful, so chilling as a young Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part 2, and then his performance as Jake LaMotta in Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull is an all-timer, an undeniable performance and Oscar victory. It is astonishing what De Niro achieves in Raging Bull. Not just the physical transformation, which has been talked about, written about forever, but also the emotional transformation. The arc that character has throughout Raging Bull. It is just an amazing performance, one of the greats. And yeah, Robert De Niro having these 2 Oscar wins, I love it.
And I hope that I can share this with anyone that it means anything to, and the rest of the world, and especially all the terrible things that are happening, and I love everyone.
Number 2, Marlon Brando.
It's a wonderful moment and a rare one, and I'm certainly indebted. Thank you.
If you thought Robert De Niro was an undeniable name to add to the top of this list, Marlon Brando kind of takes the cake, right? 1954, Best Actor on the Waterfront. 1972, Best Actor, The Godfather. It's like, wow. 2 amazing performances in the history of cinema, 2 amazing Oscar wins for Best Actor. Marlon Brando's work in film all throughout the 1950s proved to be so influential to other actors throughout the decades, especially A Streetcar Named Desire, which for some reason he didn't win the Oscar for. That was weird. And On the Waterfront, of course, directed by Elia Kazan. This is one of the great screen performances ever. He is so compelling, so real and natural. He totally becomes that character. You forget you're watching Marlon Brando. What a fantastic Best Actor Oscar win. He was there that night. He gives a speech. You probably know this. He's not there to give a speech when he wins his 2nd Oscar trophy for The Godfather. He sent Sacheen Littlefeather up to the stage to refuse the trophy. But even though Brando did not want to accept that 2nd Oscar statuette, that takes nothing away from the power, the gravitas of his work in The Godfather. Kind of like Anthony Hopkins in The Silence of the Lambs, Brando is not in a lot of The Godfather. You could argue it's supporting in a way, but even though he's not in a ton of The Godfather, you feel his presence in every scene, every moment. What an extraordinary, iconic performance he gives in The Godfather, and what glorious all-timer Oscar wins these prove to be in Best Actor for Marlon Brando.
Our hearts and our understandings will meet with love and generosity. Thank you on behalf of Marlon Brando.
And finally, that takes me to the number 1 choice. This was the person I thought of first when I started thinking about this video. This was always going to be number 1, Vivien Lee.
Please forgive me if my words are inadequate in thanking you for your very great kindness.
This is it, I think. This is the best example of a double acting Oscar winner. Vivien Lee got nominated at the Oscars twice. She won both times in Best Actress. The first one for 1939's Gone with the Wind, the second one for 1951's A Streetcar Named Desire. Talk about holy frickin' shit, right? 2 of the greatest movie performances ever. She was good in other things. I've liked her in other movies, but these were her 2, like, iconic performances that she got in both times, had to happen, that she won for both. Undeniable. Undeniable. Like, that was always going to happen, I'd say, especially because Gone with the Wind really swept the Oscars for 1939. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actress, Hattie McDaniel. So Vivien Lee winning Best Actress had to be a shoo-in. And then A Streetcar Named Desire, it doesn't win Picture and Director, but it wins in 3 of the 4 acting categories. It also wins Supporting Actor for Carl Malden, Best Supporting Actress for Kim Hunter, and Best Actress, of course, for Vivien Lee. So that seemed to make sense as well. And if you want to talk about a fascinating double feature, Gone with the Wind and A Streetcar Named Desire, it might be kind of a long double feature because Gone with the Wind is 4 hours, But comparing those two performances by Vivien Lee, you don't even recognize, I think, it's the same person. She totally transforms into Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. The hair, the look, how she holds herself, how she speaks, it's nothing like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. These are two completely different performances from Vivien Lee that she won in Best Actress at the Oscars for both. 12 years apart in different stages of her career, it just fills my heart with joy. I love Vivien Lee. I love these two performances, and I love this example of double acting Oscar wins.
God bless you and congratulations. I know she would want to thank you if she were here herself.
Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think of my list of the best double acting Oscar victories ever? Is there anyone I left out? I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.